As if the news wasn't busy enough, let's take a look at this. Lego movie producer Dan Lin won't take DC film and TV chief role at Warner Brothers. Now, I've been looking at some of the news, and a lot of people like Chris Wong of Ping Pong Flicks, others have compared Dan Lin to the Kevin Feige of Marvel. This is the Kevin Feige of DC, and now he's not going to do this. So I'm reading this article for the first time, along with all of you. By the way, I censored my stuff on TikTok for Jennifer Lawrence. What the fuck? Anyway, Dan Lin, who had been in talks to take over Warner Brothers Discovery's DC Comics film unit, isn't taking the job after all. He has produced films such as the Lego Movie, which is pretty good. I like the first one, and the two-part big screen adaptation of Stephen King's It. Warner Brothers has been looking for someone to steady the ship at the DC film division as it aims to capture the kind of consistent success enjoyed by Disney's Marvel Studios. Kevin Feige and such. There he is with Lego Batman. I like this shot. It's all right. And it's movie producer Lin, who had been in talks to become head of Warner Brothers Discovery's DC Comics, won't take his job, according to people familiar with the matter. The two sides ended negotiations without reaching a deal. The news comes during a tumultuous time. David Zaslav merging with April. In April, Discovery. After discussing a potential offer from Warner Brothers, Lin has decided to stay at Ride Back, the film and TV company he founded and runs the people said, who asked not to be named because the talks were private. He has produced films like the Lego Movie and It. So let me see if I can continue reading more. A spokesperson said that declined to comment. Lin couldn't immediately be reached for comment. So that's sort of a catastrophe. It is an injustice, too. But some of my favorite stories come here. So somebody will have to save the DCEU and the Snyderverse. It just will not be Mr. Dan Lin. It sucks. Because what really needs to happen is an overhaul. Between taking out the Batgirl movie and nobody really seeing it beyond the very few people who watched the funeral screenings and the first initial screenings, the cancellation of the newest Batman cartoon could have been on Netflix. Nope. The sort of downsizing of the CW Arrowverse or the CW-verse. HBO Max in jeopardy. I think that Peacemaker is going to go on, but the other shows may not. So it's like we won't know until we get to Black Adam, until we get to that movie, what's going to happen here. I used to look forward to seeing these movies up until we got to Wonder Woman 1984, and I talked a whole lot of shit about that. I was not happy with that movie. It was very, I guess you could call it female misogynistic. I guess it wasn't very well told. I was not looking forward to that. After the first 10 minutes, I was like, shit, fuck this movie. Now, I did like Birds of Prey. I do defend Birds of Prey. I do like the girl power movies if they're done right. And I felt like it was mostly done right from Harley Quinn's point of view. Joker was great, a masterpiece. I still like the Christopher Nolan movies. The third one, not so much. The third one he had to do more work at Warner Brothers. Because they want people to do trilogies. So, like, don't force the trilogies. Trilogies only work if they're meant to work. People have been rallying for the Snyderverse to be continuing. I'm in that same ballpark. I think that Snyder was meant to do Justice League. Didn't care for Man of Steel that much. Batman v Superman, I've grown to accept, at least the Ultimate Edition. And so we're at a point right now. What I'm watching, as I'm watching the 1943 serials of Batman, and the Fleischer cartoons of Superman from 1943 or 42. And those are the first appearances of the superheroes in media, not counting the radio shows. Wonder Woman, there was a 1967 pilot that was sort of a, kind of a, not the Brady Bunch cartoon, but sort of like that, like a 1960s sitcom with a laugh track where a young teenage girl wishes to be Wonder Woman and she transforms, and it was made by 20th Century Fox. It's kind of a silly pilot. Back then, people were very sexist. I don't think anybody would have accepted Wonder Woman starring in her own serial in the 1940s. That's just the way it was. Shazam had his own 1940s serial. Joker first appeared with Cesar Romero. in Adam West in Batman. Harley Quinn, I think it's the Joker's favor in the animated series. Harley Quinn's 30th anniversary is coming up on Sunday. So I'm looking back with all this confusion. It's like I was saying in a YouTube comment, anything you say right now is true or false until we get to Black Adam. I mean, Super Pets, the leak of Super Pets was shit. Everybody knew this. The video game that came out, I think only Angry Joe played it. And there's nothing left to look forward to except The Boys and maybe any animated projects that are out for Warner Brothers. The animated universe, what is it, the Tomorrowverse, where they had Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Batman, The Long Halloween. They're trying to come out with different ones. I mean, very few I liked were Justice League: The New Frontier, the second Wonder Woman Bloodlines is what it was called, where Silver Swan, that was a very good story, in which the daughter, Vanessa, I think, Capitalis, I think that was the daughter of Julia. And Vanessa was just this child that was always shamed. She was an angry child, and she had no guidance, no love, no peers, nobody. And she turned to a villain, and she went up against Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman represented everything that she couldn't be. She wanted her mom to love her, and so she fought Wonder Woman, voiced beautifully by, I can't remember her name. God damn it. The actress who played Ahsoka Tano. I'm sure I'll remember her name, but Rosario Dawson. Sorry, is it Rosario? Names are like coming slow to me. Very good. It was better than 84. So I guess most of us are cherry picking our favorite DC stuff like I do. Didn't care for the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad. I think I liked Justice League, which I still have over here. Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. The only thing I liked from the Joss Whedon verse was maybe Everybody Knows song and the Superman versus Flash, because there were times where Superman was heroic and not dark, and I think Henry Cavill was very capable of that. I mean, we need to keep Henry Cavill as Superman. I don't know about Batman. We have the Batman movie, which was very good. I enjoyed 3 hours of that. The fact that Batman saved other people and didn't run away, like in Nolan's movie, was the big difference for me, and that's what kind of helped me enjoy that movie. I watched the multiverse stuff with Spider-Man No Way Home, Into the Spider-Verse, and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So much multiverse. So if not Dan Lin, someone has to save it. I could do it, but nobody knows who the hell I am. It's somebody who understands the lore, somebody who understands world building, somebody who understands what it means to keep these characters together. Now, I did my bit with Metal Men. I'm not sure if I'll finish that story. It's up to all of you to really tell me if I should. I did so much work on it. I'm working on other stuff, and posting here because I want to post about things you all care about. If today it's Jennifer Lawrence, tomorrow it's DC Comics, the next day it's The Queen, and then the next day it's outer space and planets and aliens and Area 51, or what's happening in Tibet, what's happening in Afghanistan, cats and dogs, whatever. I talk about various things because they're the various things I think people would be interested in and I'm interested in because it hurts me personally or not. When I talk about my father, when I talk about child abuse, or I talk about work abuse, dealing with my boss. So there has to be a big boss that's going to come in and take care of things. I don't know who that should be. Zack Snyder's not it. Or they could go back and talk to Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder's busy doing movies. There has to be someone. There has to be someone who can really get in there. Jeff Johns is not it. I don't know who it could be. As I think about it, who would be the one to really connect those things? Dave Filoni, if he left Star Wars, if he left Disney. And there must be somebody who can just, also too, you could have a Bible, just have that Bible. That's what it kind of needs. I think you need a Bible specifically for DC that's almost like the Masters of the Universe Bible. That's basically writers and screenwriters, writers for comic books and writers who write movies and stuff, to kind of sit in a room, come up with the Bible and say, here is this dumbed down DCU guide that tells you who these characters are supposed to be. You know, you can race swap them or you can age swap them, but they still have to remind you of those legendary heroes and villains. And that's what they basically do. This is their function. And this would be a guide that every director and every producer and committee and all the executives and the actors would have. And if they want, you know, and you could have at the, as I'm going down these bullet points, if they want to have an index saying, if you want to read more, here are these extra sources you can look up online, download it to your tablet, you know, these digital comic books, and you can read more about these things. You know, you can get more input. I still remember Zoe Kravitz drinking a saucer of milk like a cat to prepare for the Catwoman role. No, Zoe, you're cute. You're very cute, and I loved you as Catwoman, but you don't have to do that. Don't do that. Let's get a Bible. Let's get a Bible in place, like He-Man. Let's get that Bible in place. Maybe we won't need Dan Lin, but somebody's got to get in there and understand how it's got to be done. Someone who's at the center of the comic book fans and the movie fans and the kids and the producers and the comic book writers, somebody who can be that centerpiece, who can put that Bible together. Let's see that happen.